just like the sound of it. I just like the sound of it. I just like the sound of it.
What is going on, everybody, man? It's your man JTM, and I am live with another Cold Front Report exclusive interview, this time with the NFL draft prospect, cornerback Antonio Dawkins. And this young man has such an amazing story, so inspirational, so courageous. Antonio, what is going on?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Man, I am doing good, man. I was super excited to do this interview, man, and talk to you and get to hear your story and share your story out there with the Bills Mafia and with just other NFL fans, because, I mean, it's one of just such courageousness, man.
Man, same here, man. Same here. When I heard I got the opportunity, man, I was definitely feeling the same way you feeling right now.
Man, no doubt. Now, if you guys haven't saw or read about Antonio's story, he has such an amazing story. It's on YouTube. Antonio Dawkins, Sink or Swim, the story of Antonio Dawkins, Sink or Swim. I mean, man, Antonio, where do we get started, man? I mean, you were a young kid. Your mom was married. Your mother, Brenda, was married. Go through a divorce, and you guys end up homeless.
Yup. So, basically, ninth grade, probably the first month of school, mom ended up getting a divorce. Her and her husband at the time. And like the couple months after, not even a couple months, probably I say 30 days after that, we get a call. Basically, we got to get out the house. So from that point on, man, like it was couch hopping, house hopping. I'm staying at this place. We staying at that place. Hotels, trying to figure out what shelters we can go to, at school. Like it was crazy, man. So it was everywhere, dog. Like started off at one high school, went to another high school, went to another high school. I went to like 5 different high schools. I didn't get to play football up until my senior year, like actually playing. So, because I was like my grades was bad, not just because I was getting in trouble, but because I was missing so many days. because we had no transportation. So I get to play my freshman year, my sophomore year, my junior year. Senior year came, and that's when I finally got to play.
So you go through all this, you finally get to play. Now, watching your story for your first year in Fort Mills, right? With Fort Mills, this is South Carolina or North Carolina?
South Carolina.
Okay,
right
so
on the borderline.
Around the border. All right. So your first year in South Carolina, Fort Mills, you can't play. You can only practice.
Yeah.
And I believe your coach said in the documentary that he was amazed because most kids wouldn't do it. And I had to go back to myself in high school and think about it, that most kids didn't stay if you couldn't play. What drove you to really just stay in practice all year? You knew you couldn't play. What was it, man?
Really, what drove me to just at least practice with the team, because I wanted to be a part of something, man. Like, I just felt like I didn't have that bond with a team like early on in high school. I didn't have that brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like it was right for me to do, because when I was playing football, which is something I love to do, I hadn't got to play it since 7th grade. So when I finally got the opportunity to at least get my foot in the door and around people that I feel like cared about me, man, I was like, I'm gonna make something shake. I'm gonna make something happen. So I definitely I tried to enjoy the process. And I felt like nothing but good could come from it, really. So it was helping me stay focused. It was giving me something to look forward to, and it was just, keeping me in the zone from the outside world when I was in practice. Now,
was football like your release? Because like I said, being at that age, how old were you? 16, 17?
Yeah, 16, 17. Yeah.
I mean, at 16, I guess I can't imagine being held down with that type of burden on your shoulders and be able to function enough to go and play football without actually being able to play, just practice. So did you lose football as like a release?
Yeah. So football was really my go-to thing when I wanted to get away from the world. I know, like, no matter if it was practice or a game, or me just going to the field by myself, just running, doing ladder drill, doing certain stuff, because I knew when I was doing that, like, it was fun, and I was away from everything. Like, me and my boys, like, on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, it was me, a bunch of guys in my high school, a bunch of guys at the high schools, my rival high school, different schools around that area. Like, we getting up, having 7-on-7s. We probably out there. We get out there like 9 in the morning. We stand out there at like 4 p.m. just having fun, because most of us, that's how we got away from everything else. That was just like, that was living right there. Right.
Now, the thing about that is doing the ladder drills, going home at 4 p.m. and being done. The other kids went home. You didn't go home. And in the documentary, you said that the reason you didn't go home was because it was too far to travel, and if you did go home, you may not be able to get back to school the next day. So not only did you make sure to stay on the football field, but you made sure that you stayed in school.
Yeah. So early on in high school, I was kind of discouraged a little bit. Early on, I was like, man, you know what? I was talking to my mom, I talked to my aunt. I was just like, man, I'm about to just drop out. My mom and my aunt Keisha, she was at the house, matter of fact. And she was like, boy, heck no. I was like, look, man. I told both of them, I'm like, look, there's too much going on. I'm not into it. It was, at that time, it was really like me trying to run away from having to put in that extra work or having to actually face it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But once I got to Fort Mill High School, and I actually talked to the coaches like Coach Susie, Coach Gala, Coach Jackson, Coach Gatlin, Stafford Gatlin, all those guys, and it was a bunch of other coaches, Coach T, like they all like basically telling me like, look, you can actually do something with this. But it would still be moments where, like, for example, my counselor, when I first got to Fort Mill, I told her, I was like, look, I want to go to college to play football. Now, she had never seen me play because I was just practicing. But the coaches had seen me play. So they was telling me, like, look, you have the skill set to actually do this. You just got to make sure your grades is right when it come down to whatever. The my counselor was like, word for word, this is what she said. She said, you will not go to a 4-year school and you will not be playing football in college. She was like, you should just go to York Tech. It's a school called York Technical College in South Carolina. It's a 2-year school, and then you get to go to like Clemson or USC. She was like, you should just go there and then go to one of the big schools and just enjoy college. I looked at her on that day. I said, I promise you I'll be going to a 4-year school to play football. That moment, that was my last time ever going to her office. I left her office and went to this lady by the name of Miss Stevens. I went to her office, and I told her what was going on. I told her how I felt, and she was like, I promise you I'm going to help you get into school. So I was like, all right. So then that's where it just like, it gave me an extra push, an extra drive, because now I got motivation. Now I feel like, okay, like, you know what I'm saying, I'm blocking all of the doubt out. Now it's really on me.
All right. Now, rewind a little bit. So before you even get to this guidance counselor offers in college, you said you sneak in the back door of the high school locker room. So this is how you stay in school. You put a rock in the door. You put a rock in the door. You shower. You sleep all night, and you tell teammates if they came in early in the morning and saw you sleeping, hey, I've been here weightlifting or training. And how long were you able to do that before someone caught on to, hey, Antonio was actually home, before you told your coaches and staff?
Really, I probably would have never got caught if certain incidents wouldn't have happened. So like, because of the way I would do it, literally nobody would be on campus except the janitors when I would come back in. I would act like I'm leaving. Sometimes I might go to a friend's house and walk back. Sometimes I might walk to the back of the like where the baseball field at, just chill over there, because nobody goes over there. Just chill, and then certain times I sneak my way, up to the locker room or whatever. So no, I really could have just kept doing it, but it was like God was showing my coaches like different stuff, different signs of like, hold on, we might gotta help him. So like one time after practice, and I hadn't ate in a couple of days. We didn't have no water in the house because the water was cut off, because we had got a little temporary spot at the moment. We didn't have nothing in the house, no lights, no nothing. So we in practice ends. Coach asked like, one of the leaders want to say something. I was big on talking, so I was like, Coach, I got something to say to the receivers or whatever, da. And as soon as I say something, my throat felt like it was closing up. So I'm like, I started coughing a little bit. I'm like, no, I'm good. And literally my body felt like it was shutting down. So I had a full body cramp. So every time I would move a body part, the body would cramp up, whatever. And then the athletic trainers had to come over there. They were trying to do the IV stuff on me, calling the ambulance and all that to get me rehydrated. And from that moment on, they knew for sure, because they had already, my Coach Gala and Coach Jackson, Coach Staff, they knew first before anybody else. Because Coach Gala had came from an inner city school, Independence High School. Mm-hmm. So he had dealt with kids that kind of came through and, had similar situations as me. And when we would talk, I still try to, sugarcoat it and hide it from him. But he used to always tell me, I know. I'm like, nah, everything good. But from that point on, all the coaches made sure I was taken care of.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's truly amazing that you, at that age, you were able to pull through that and actually get to this point now that we're gonna get to about, NFL draft is Thursday. You are an NFL draftee or a prospect, and I mean, just to come from that alone, like I said, it's kids nowadays, it's people nowadays that deal with a lot less that can't deal with it. And somehow, I mean, you battle through it, man. And I mean, like I say, it's really a story of inspiration, this courageousness. And so let me ask you this: the first time you hit the football field, because you practice for a year, you can't play, then you finally play. Yep. What's that moment like? The first time you step on the field, you suit it up, and it's go time.
It was crazy. Actually, the first time it was against, I want to say Scotland High School. Mm-hmm. We go down there. One of my boys, his dad was like, "Hey, it's on you. It's on you." He kept saying that. I'm like, I got you. I didn't know because this was my first time playing in the game in high school. So I was like, man, I don't know what's about to happen. I knew I was a baller though, so I was like, it's whatever. So my first the first 30 plays out there, I had a pick six. I had a pick six, probably had like 4 or 5 tackles. And that's what they kicked, like, I can really do this. And at that time, I had moved from receiver to DB. So he had me in corner, he had me in like nickel position. And I was doing my thing. I was like, I can do this. So that's when it just really took off for me.
So football comes easy for Antonio Dawkins.
I would say so, yeah.
Considering everything else, the football is the easy part for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Man, so with football coming so easy to you, what were some of the guys that you looked up to growing up?
Guys I looked up to, man, it was a lot. My favorite DBs, I would say Darrell Green, Darrell Reeves, of course Deion Sanders, guys like Champ Bailey. Man, it's a lot of guys, man. And then my favorite overall athlete that I looked up to was Allen Iverson.
Okay.
Like, if I could be anybody, that's who I would have been growing up.
Okay, I'm alright with the answer. But you know what? What strikes me as odd, right, is the Darrell Green one. Because like I said, I'm an older guy. And I got to see the tail end of Darrell Green's career. And you're a young man. So that means that when you say a name like Darrell Green, what that tells me is this is a kid, you watch film.
Yeah, most definitely.
You study.
Most definitely.
Because, you know, in watching your film, studying your film, I saw a lot of Darrell Green in there. I really did. I saw a lot of Darrell Green. And then there was another name you mentioned, Nikhil Roby-Coleman, which Bills fans are, I know we are extremely familiar with. I mean, he was a fan favorite. He's a great player, and he's another story of an underdog.
Yeah, he is.
So, Coleman being a underdog story, do you kind of feel like you relate to him somewhat?
Definitely, because I mean, Coleman, he balled out in college. He had his pro day, combine, all that stuff. He did what he was supposed to do there. He was just one of them guys that didn't get the recognition that he was supposed to get. And I definitely feel like it's the same way with me or whatever. But at the end of the day, you see he got what he deserved. He just signed a big contract. And he's a household name now. So I feel like being the underdog, that's cool. Because you got guys like him, you got guys like Chris Harris Jr. who show you, like, they'll take that underdog role and turn it into 30, 40 million. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he calls himself the slot god. And now, what's funny about the slot god is I was reading some of the writings on you, and pretty much the writings is saying, man, complete player. Everything is saying complete player. I'm seeing projected 4.3 740.
Yes, sir.
38-inch vertical leap.
Actually, 40.
40. You got the 40. Okay. So we ain't got the 40-inch, all right? 5'10", 192-pound steel frame, or are you a little bit more than that now?
Actually, I'm probably like, because I've been eating way, way healthier, so I wanted to like trim down, so I'm probably like 188. The proper workouts I had, I weighed in like 188, 189.
Do you remember the size Darrell Green played at?
Yeah, I do. 5'8", like 169, 170.
Like I said, that's a lot of Darrell Green. I mean, like I said, people watching the film, man, it's a lot of Darrell Green in you. Another thing that caught my eye was 2016. What are you, a sophomore, freshman, junior? What are you in college? 2016.
2016, I'm a redshirt sophomore.
Sophomore. You played only 8 games due to injury. But in 8 games, you make 58 tackles. So that showed me that not only is Antonio Dawkins fearless in life, but you're fearless in the field. You ready to, you come up.
Sir.
You come up and you hit.
Yes, sir. I definitely ain't scared to hit.
So now that's my next question. An NFL team wants Antonio Dawkins. Antonio Dawkins, he's fast. He has a 40-inch vertical leap. He can cover inside, outside from the scouting reports that I read online. Inside, outside, slot, outside, doesn't matter. He can do it all.
Sure.
Special. How you feel about special teams?
I love special teams. I work out with guys like Antonio Hamilton, who basically he made his name on special teams. So at talking to him, basically it gave me a different perspective on special teams like a couple years back, and that's really when I seen like that's where that special teams is probably the most important thing on the field, like because that really changes the game. You know, look at the Patriots. Patriots don't won how many Super Bowls, and most of it's been special teams, whether it's kickoff return, or field goals. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely feel like special teams is something that needs to actually be paid more attention to. Like I said, guys like Antonio Hamilton, Keon Crossan, guys like Matthew Slater, those are all guys. Eric Weems, those are all guys I would like go in and try to be like on special teams because they fearless. They get into the ball, they make money.
Now, there's one guy that you said you train with that he may fit the same mode that you're talking about. And I think he plays somewhere that most of these people watching are familiar with here in Buffalo.
Yes, sir.
Who's that?
Siren Neil.
Bam, Siren Neil.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Training with Siren Neil, what do you learn from him? Well, what are you getting from him?
He's, how can I say it, like, he focused more on technique because he's fast. He's a bigger guy, so he has the strength and all that. When we train, he trained more on foot placement, stuff like that. Just trying to be more technically sound, because going to the next level is like next level in college. It's a big leap. So you want to make sure that when the speed goes away, when you're in a situation where you can't use your strength, you want to use that technique. And he one of those guys that I can say that when he trained, that's what he would focus more on without training Lily.
Man, so you train with these guys, you get through high school, you first go to JUCO. Now, what happens when you go to JUCO?
Okay, so my first year there, I'm starting at nickel. Starting at nickel. Then I end up starting at corner. Going into my sophomore year, I went, first off, I'm going to restart that. I went with two guys. Okay. My brother and my best friend. We go, my best friend get kicked out first semester. So now it's just me and my brother. Going into sophomore year, my brother ended up dying or whatever. So I'm left by myself. So sophomore year, I did my thing. I balled out. And then that's when I ended up going to North Carolina Central.
So your brother passes away, and I'm assuming, and I'm getting that the narrative Antonio Dawkins is no matter what, keep going.
Yeah.
Keep pushing. No matter what. Don't stop.
Yeah. So, matter of fact, after that happened, because it was like 2 weeks before camp, I was about to fly to Baltimore for the funeral service. And I talked to his mama. She was like, don't come. I was like, what? Because I had just flew back home for the memorial service. And I came back. The funeral was like a couple days later. So I was going to fly back out. But I would end up having to miss the first game and the last couple practices going into the first game. My coach was like, look, you good. You know what I'm saying? You're a starter when you get back. You're going to be back in it. I was like, all right, cool. So I called her. I'm like, look, I'm about to come. I was about to get my ticket and everything. She was like, no. She was like, because you know what he will want you to do. He will want you to stay. And I was like, you're right. So I just kicked it out. Made sure I did my thing. Made sure I, do what he would want me to do.
And now you get the blue field.
Yeah. So get the blue field. My first year there, it was kind of different. Because for one, the scenery, it's basically in the middle of nowhere. All it is a Walmart and an Applebee's down the street. So it was different for me coming from the city or whatever. But it was cool though. It was cool that first like my first couple weeks there, like they welcomed me with open arms. Guys like my bro Devin, one of my best friends, Philip Tyler, he was already there. Quante Hines, Jeffrey Hughes. It's a bunch of us, man. Patron, all them guys. Like all of them, they welcomed me in with open arms. So it was definitely like, at first it was kind of different. After that, I got cool with them. It was like I had been there for years.
So, I mean, like I said, once again, football's easy for Antonio Dawkins, and you step on the field. I mean, I think it was your national television, your first national televised game. You get thrown at, 12 times?
Yeah.
Only allowing 2 catches, an interception, 3 breakups, 3 tackles.
Yeah.
When the lights is on, Antonio Dawkins comes to play.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And hold on now, one of those catches that was caught, both of them was short routes, like 4 or 5 yards, something like that. One of them technically wasn't my fault, but I take that though. I take that.
All right. You know, like I said, man, I your attitude and your resilience is just it's ridiculous. Like I said, I can't imagine going through everything you go through and then continue to play and then shining the brightest when the lights is on. That's what's just striking me. It's just you shine when the lights is on, and it's truly amazing, man. It's truly amazing. I mean, you went through college and you didn't even allow almost 20 catches.
Yeah.
Entire college career.
Yes, sir.
So you get to this draft process now. How was the draft process itself? Because like I said, you've been through everything else. Football comes easy. But what you hear from a lot of prospects is the draft process is something that they just wish is over.
Yeah.
The minute it starts.
Well, I mean, at first it was kind of like my mind was everywhere. But as time started going by, I kind of calmed down. I talked to a few different people, whatever, and they just got me to actually like realize like whatever may happen, it's in God's hands. So that's where my mind is at now. So I'm not really like too stressed about it because I know, you know, whatever happens, it's all part of God's plan. So I'm just letting it be what it is at this very moment. I'm gonna just keep working and just keep grinding. Coming from a smaller school, it was kind of crazy because, you know, when you coming from a smaller school, a lot of people not telling you about agents. They're not telling you about where to train at and different stuff. I just so happen to be blessed, one, with knowledge to actually be like, okay, this is something I want to do in my livelihood. I got to start doing the research for myself. So I started putting in a lot of work with that. And then it was crazy because a lot of agents just started reaching out to me. I would talk to other guys that played in smaller schools that balled out and stuff. They like, no agents was reaching out to them. They hadn't talked to nobody. And I'm like, that's crazy because it was the total opposite for me. So that just showed me like, God got my back no matter what. So this whole process, I just been like, yeah, everything that's happening, God got me, man.
Yeah, so I mean, it's unfathomable, man. This story is it's such an amazing story. And like I said, you go through the draft process now. I mean, we're literally under 48 hours for NFL draft, and that's when the night where people's lives are going to start changing. When that first pick is in, every possible draftee is on notice.
Yes, sir.
What is Antonio Dawkins doing during the draft?
I'm chilling. I'm hanging out, man. I'm kicking it with my family, man. Probably go out and just have fun or whatever. My birthday is tomorrow, so
okay,
we'll definitely have fun for the weekend. I'm not letting that stress me out. I'm not overthinking nothing. I'm just, just enjoying this time. Cause I done made it this far. If nothing else was to happen, God blessed me to get this far, and I'm grateful for it. So
let's not forget that you graduated college with 2 degrees.
Yeah, 2.
What you got degrees in?
So I got one in mass communications, one in interdisciplinary studies.
Right, and I mean, how was that moment? I mean, after this entire journey, and now we have the draft process. What was that moment like walking across that stage?
At first, I had it made up in my mind. I'm like, I'm good. Like, I'm not really excited just because I felt like it was something I was supposed to do for my family, for all the people that I know that wasn't able to do that, wasn't given that opportunity. So I was kind of like, in a way, being selfish because I wasn't like super, super excited. And then I kind of realized as soon as I walked the stage, I was still like in this mode, like, man, it's nothing. I was supposed to do this. But when I seen my mama walk towards me and she had tears in her eyes, I started tearing up because I was like, I'm supposed to be way more grateful than I'm being. Like, even though it's something I feel like I was supposed to do, I know a lot of people that didn't get this opportunity. So then that's when I seen her, that's when I got really, really excited because I'm like, I just made everybody proud. Like, and I made her proud more than anything. So that's when I was really like shocked, going crazy. And I seen my little sister crying, my fiance crying, everybody was crying. I was like, maybe I should be super hyped, right?
During this whole process, I mean, and you mentioned your mom, a lot, and she was in the documentary a lot, and how proud she is of you. What does your mom mean?
My mom mean everything to me. My perseverance, how I carry myself, my moral standards, my pride, everything, man. Like, everything about me, got it from her. Like, during certain situations coming up, like, I never seen her, even though I seen her cry a lot, but I never seen her quit. I never seen her give up. So she definitely mean a lot to me.
It sounds familiar because in my family, we use the saying, you never give up, you give out. You never give up and you give out. And Antonio, I mean, I could say you're a survivor. Your mom's a survivor. I mean, you're inspiration to everybody watching this. I mean, you should just see the chat. The chat's going crazy about how inspirational you are, how amazing, how much these Bills Mafia fans would love to have you here. In Buffalo, if it was feasible, we'd love to have you here. But what message could you give to teenagers or kids or anybody going through possibly what you went through, your situation? What message could you deliver to them?
Man, I just say don't give up. Don't give up, because even no matter how stressful it is, man, it's always something on the other side. As long as you keep going, as long as you keep striving, as long as you keep wanting better for yourself, man, it's always going to be something better on the other side. Troubles don't last long.
Man, that's right. That's right. But one more question, man. We're going to wrap it up.
Yes, sir.
If there's a GM or executive watching this, what are they going to get in Antonio Dawkins?
Man, out of Antonio Dawkins, man, they're going to get a versatile defensive back, specialist, with speed, 4.3, 4.4 speed. I can play anywhere on the field. You're going to get a guy who has a high IQ on the field. It's not afraid to make plays. It's not afraid to come down and make a hit. You're going to get a guy that's going to give his all. You're going to get a guy that can play his role in the nickel, that can be your Kenny Moore, your Nikel Roby-Coleman, your Chris Harris Jr. You're going to get a guy that can play outside, who can be your Darrell Revis. You're going to get a guy who can play special teams like Matthew Slater, or be a return specialist. So you're going to get an overall a great guy, but a great football player as well.
And most importantly, you're gonna get a guy who ain't gonna never give up.
Yes, sir.
Antonio, this was such a wonderful experience for me interviewing you. You have such an amazing story. If anybody watching has not watched the full story, I know we put out a snippet of the story for the promotional video for this interview, but if you have not watched the full Antonio Dawkins sink or swim story, I'm gonna put that in the link. I'm gonna put a link of that after this interview inside the bio of this interview, so please go check that out. Truly inspirational. It's 18 minutes. It'd be one of the most well spent 18 minutes you will ever watch. Trust me. Antonio, before we go, is there any shout outs that you want to give? Anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, I'm gonna give a shout out to, I can't name everybody, man, but I'm gonna give a shout out to my whole family, man. I'm not gonna say names specifically because, like I said, it's a lot. But my mom, all my siblings, my fiance, Adrian Hubbard, Yode.
Okay.
Definitely the place I trained at, U48. We give a shout out to Oliver Davis, and Lily. Lily, she one of the best trainers in Georgia, and all my friends.
And man, and you know what? You didn't say you say your fiance names earlier. I don't want to get you in no trouble, man. So I think you better say your fiance names before we get off here again.
That name Ajane, man.
Okay. I don't want you to get in no trouble, man. You know, I know you're resilient, man. But no, man. But thank you. Thank you for taking time to do this interview, Antonio. Like I said, from myself, for everybody at the Court Report, for everybody in Bills Mafia who tuned in, and thank you guys for tuning in. This is such a courageous young man. This is such an inspirational young man. And we're rooting for you. We're pulling for you. It would be nice to see you in that blue and red if we can get you that. But we want to see you just be successful in any uniform that you can be in or play in. And also shout out to Samantha Tiger for help setting this up.
Yes, sir.
For sure. Antonio, can you tell people where they can follow you at? Follow your story, follow your journey?
On Instagram, you can follow me Antonio_the Great, TAG Great. On Twitter, you can follow me at the number 11, Antonio Dawkins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my Facebook is Antonio Dawkins.
All right. And you know what? If you guys are watching live, you can obviously see the border. It's right on the border, so it's right below Antonio's name. So make sure you go click and follow. Make sure you follow us at the Cold Report for more exclusive interviews. And like I said, man, once again, thank you, Antonio, for being such an inspiration, such a courageous young man. I appreciate you taking the time today. We are behind you. We are rooting for you. And we will keep you in our prayers no matter what. And man, don't ever be afraid to check in. You have another family, a bigger family even now in the Bills Mafia and the Cold Report. So please continue to check in. But other than that, that's our time. Once again, thank you to Antonio Dawkins. Thank you to Samantha Tiger for setting this up and Samantha Tiger Management. And to the rest of my guys at the Cold Report, thank all you guys for tuning in. And hey, man, never give up.
Yes, sir.
And that is it, folks. We are out. We will catch you next time.
Yes.
The streak is over. Jordan Poyer off the.
But our audios are off. So, man, that was a great interview, man. Hopefully you enjoyed it, man.
Well, definitely I did, man.
Yeah, man. Like I said, man. I was stoked to do this, man. Like I said, I watched the video. Actually, I watched the video. I watched the video twice, man. Like I said, it's such a great story, man. Like I said, I just had open heart surgery about a couple months back, and you know, your story it make me feel like, man,